Tuliona wamama wengi wanadhulumiwa, wanapigwa, wanaoreshwa mapema, wanakeketwa.
The Data Driven Advocacy is a project which we have been implementing for the past 2 years with support from the UK government and managed by Marion Daniels. So we are implementing this project in 2 countries, in Kenya as well as in Uganda. And we are working with 2 of our partners. In Kenya is GROOTS Kenya and in Uganda is FOWODE.
In this part of Laikipia County, Kenya, there exists patriarchy. Most of the women here had no say in both the affairs of the family and society at large.
The first anchor is looking at issues of power, dismantling patriarchal power.
We meet Mary Mosanyi, a Laikipia champion, as she goes on her day-to-day activities after a routine meeting with GROOTS Kenya.
Sisi jamii ya Maasai, sisi kama msijana ama mama kike, ni kama kitu tu iliwekwa tu kuwekwa. Ni kama ana maana, ni kama kasi yake kusaa na kufanya kasi. Kwa sababu samani mama ikikuwa tu wasichana peke yake bila kijana, hiyo mama sio mtu, sio kitu kwa hiyo mama.
Our second anchor is on voice. We really find that in most of the policy spaces, be it national level, regional, global levels, women and girls are not speaking for themselves. They don't even have access to some of those spaces to be able to authentically say what they want to say and influence.
In another village many kilometers away from Kampala, Uganda, Honorable Yusta Kimuli is addressing a meeting of women in leadership and persons with disabilities. She was once voiceless and of low self-esteem.
What I am, in fact, this is the position I'm in. This position of a woman counselor, I achieved it through this DDA project. After trainings, our teachers, after teaching us about the leadership, gender equality, so I also gained the courage. I got inspired and I joined the politics. So currently I became a woman counselor, Kiangamoyo Parish.
Our third anchor is looking at feminist solidarity.
The status of African women is varied across nations and regions. For example, Rwanda is one of the countries in the world where women hold more than half the seats in parliament as of December 2020.
And then the fourth anchor in our strategic plan is really looking at soul, being an organization with a soul, being intentional in terms of our values, institutionally as a secretariat, but also within the network as well.
Significant efforts towards gender equality have been made in Kenya and Uganda through FEMNET and her partners.
It has improved on the youth-friendly corners there in our village because the youth know what to do, where to go when they get a problem.
Lakini tangu sai mwaka 3 mimi nilianza hii movement na mesa kuingia kwetu, tuko na mama mashaleda anaongoza community land, tuko na mama anasimama kama MP, tuko sai already mama amejitayarisha anataka kutafuta MCA. Kwa hivyo tumesaidika sana.
FEMNET's issues include preventing gender-based violence and the spread of HIV and AIDS and promoting gender equality and women's right to sexual and reproductive health services.
We didn't have a placenta pit. And I recall when FOWODE went to these are some of the things they added for.
We are free to access health facilities as people with disabilities. If they had not come to us, we wouldn't have learned how to improve on our standards of living.
African women and girls are mobilized to influence, lobby and advocate for domestication and implementation of commitments made by African governments to the advancement of gender equality and realization of women's rights by use of data.
If we are to ensure that the priorities of women and girls remain visible, we need to ensure that we have the gender data, the statistics that are compelling enough to hold our leaders accountable and ensure that these priorities are actually addressed.
The data gives us the way forward on public participation. Unless you have the data, that is the only proof that you can say we are demanding for this because we have evidence. And it's what has guided us to arrive to this fruitful project.
We thank God for the GROOTS data on their dashboard. It informed the development of our policy for the county. And even in future, I'm sure the data will also inform future reviews for the policy.
Let's inform, mobilize, and influence African women's rights.